Hello, friends. It's Monday, June 12th. This is Stock Father, and we are looking at AMC. This is without the ape, and I know the merger back together is coming soon. I don't know, it adds some complications into the chart. I think what Booksy is doing, where he's combining the chart, makes for a more compelling story, but this is what I have to go by, is this historical new AMC thing. And if you see, we're resting right on top of this previous highs of the buildup before it had that launch off, and it got taken away by the powers be, and then reaccumulated and had a second launch. Of course, this used to be way higher. I think the tip was like almost 80, so cut in half. So, but why didn't they update all this in the background? Because this would be technically a lot lower than where it's at now. Because these used to say in the 20s. It's very curious, but it makes it look like a lot of this stuff is covered. So why do I have here a spring and not a spring? This we'll go over that real fast. So in this green area, point and figure says it's a spring, and if it goes below this line, point and figure says it's not a spring. There's like some rules to the point and figure charting, and I'm not going to even pull those up just because I just want to show this. There might not even be a spring. There is not a need of one. The market as a whole has been turning around, so it's getting away from the overvalued stocks, and it's starting to look at the undervalued stocks to kind of pump up, right? And if we go back to a traditional way of AMC traded before the pandemic, even at this lowest point, it was doing like $10. So the fact that it's this far down is very interesting. I mean, the pandemic, yes, I can understand how people were pessimistic, how some of the companies were trying to short it out of oblivion, but now the overall value, you're saying, I mean, if you look at a true distribution setup, this would be a very good example of one. It was a full distribution down to here. It caught, it could not pull off a reaccumulation and takeoff. It then collapsed down to a new bottom. It went sideways for quite a while, attempted it again, could not pull it off. This is more of a UTAD, a big sell-off. I think that was due to the news that they were going to do the ape split, if I remember correctly, and then it came cascading down. This looks like a LPSY, and this is even a larger LPSY that goes to an ultimate bottom, a selling climax. So right here we have a selling climax. I think it's indicative of this selling climax over here. I think these two are very much related, and they're holding about the same ground. It's kind of interesting. So now, before this one goes up, there's a lot of similarities between these two. But it's mostly, what we're looking at is the sidewaysness of it. It's been going sideways the entire year. So 6 months of collecting, right? You look back here, it had a long time to collect, but they didn't really start doing it until they decided, when they hit the spring here, and they really powered it up. And you can tell that by the volume analysis. here they're buying and buying and buying and buying and buying, and then they push up and really, you know, this thing was ready to go to the moon. Now, you can do your own DD and look into how much BlackRock owns of the AMC, but from my last analysis, it was over 50% of the stock is owned by BlackRock. BlackRock also owns Vanguard, and basically it's the composite operator in this. It's going to do the big swing. So I expect us to pull down into this spring level because I think it's going to do one last grab at it and scare people that it's going to completely collapse. It could go all the way down to $3, and if it goes a penny below that, it's not a spring. So it can go anywhere in here, and once it does, it should be stopping action. It should be a lot of volume, push up, and then once it gets back into this range, this is where you're going to have to start watching, because it's going to move fast, right? Comparably, and it may not reaccumulate until up in this area, because it's kind of went through and it's kind of already went through all this below area at a very slow pace, and then after that they could really shoot it up to wherever, and I think that is the ultimate plan. They don't see, like, currently BlackRock may be loaning up their shares to shorts to short it, and they don't have to call those shorts back to cause a squeeze, because they have so much control over the stock. All they have to do is take it off, and the shorts will see the writing on the wall. They may not see it here, but if the shorts didn't see it here and it caught them off guard, they'll surely see it when it starts to rise up again. And this is where mostly the volume starts to pick up, because the shorts are buying to get out, right? So they're buying all this, trying to get out, while everybody else is buying to try to get in. So people probably are wondering, how long will this take? Well, I think we're already in an oversold part. I don't think we're going to go back to these low lows. We got the catalyst coming up soon, where they can, when they do the phone call, they can do the dip, scare everybody, and then the rip, dip and rip, right? So, it's not a bad. I mean, anything in between here and 3 is not a bad number to get into. And can it do the MOAS? That's the question a lot of people. Have I wasted so much time? Did I get in at $50 a share and never going to see it again? Well, I believe they have taken their time long enough to get rid of all the weak hands. Once they do this final push down, that should scare out all the weak hands so they can turn around and start buying up. I think there's enough fear in it being worthless. There's enough people that are on shaky ground with it that I think, yes, enough of the stock is still shorted to cause a conundrum, and I think it's still on the table. And if you had look at this from a Wyckoff thing, this was overbought, came down, and we've been oversold for quite a while. And I think that the market makers are looking to get into stocks that are oversold to make their money by pushing them up. and this would probably be a really great one to get into. No guarantees, of course, and this is entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. If you want some financial advice, go somewhere else. I do have a Discord with the AI algorithm thing. Currently, it doesn't work that great for AMC, but the premium stocks it definitely works pretty well for. But AMC, at least when this does take off, it'll give you an idea of like how well it's doing, and it'll kind of tell you if we've hit a top or what's going on. It's good enough to do that, I think. Some people might disagree, but I think it's good enough. But anyway, if you have any questions, shoot them in the comments below. I'll link my Discord at the bottom. It's a paid Discord, so if you're not into that kind of thing, I mean, you can sit in there. There's like 1,300 people sitting in there, and I don't know what they're waiting for, but they're sitting in there on the sideline. So, you could always sit there on the sidelines too, I guess. Yeah, I wanted to go over this and kind of show where the levels were of where can it go down. What I'm looking at is if it goes below 299, it is not a spring, it is a distribution. And how low could it go? I think Booksy called for like $1 or something, which would be a natural look on this as far as like if this was the normal state of things. But I think this is kind of pandemic off. Like if we take this off the charts, right? Like let's do this really fast before I disappear. I don't think I've done any justice on explaining myself well enough, but that's okay. I'm just trying to get some advice. If we take this off the table, right, this pandemic stuff, then a dip down into it may be all the rocket fuel it needs. And everything in the past, I went back and looked at it, kind of says, hey, the normal range should be, in the 20s. So, I mean, are we fearing that the pandemic could come back? No. Are we fearing of the recession affecting the box office? Does it appear to be? Does AMC look like it's working its way out? Yes. So, I mean, take it what you will, but this is prime for a short squeeze. And anybody that's ever watched my channel in the past knows that I am the most pessimistic of all the YouTubers when it comes to this type of thing. But I now see that I feel like the writing's on the wall. This will take off. It wouldn't hurt to load up a little bit on this if you don't believe me. I mean, it's not like you're putting yourself at much risk right now. And when will it take off? I don't know. It's went sideways pretty long, but if you look at how long it took to go sideways here before it finally took off, that was nearly a year, but I think things have sped up quite a bit. So, I'm thinking before, probably, somewhere in the end of the year to they could do it, at least the first branch up to where they come up and show a sign of strength here coming up on the 15th. That's why I wanted to release this. But if not, it could look, farther out. I mean, the kind of thing is they go sideways like this so they can collect as much as possible and bore people to death to where they want to leave. They want to go to more exciting things. And then they buy all your shares and they run it up and they sell back to you higher. So I know everybody's holding pretty well, but that being said, yeah. And what did I also wanted to do a shout out to my old moderator who had some personal problems that I won't go into, but I hope he's doing okay. And Riptide Redemption. I hope you're doing well, and I wanted to do a shout out to him. And of course, for all your AMC needs, I would always refer Booksy. And looks like he's been on quite a bit lately. And I don't know. That's all I got for you. I think it's going to rip. You heard it here. You heard it 2 years ago, but you heard it here second. Anyway, have a nice day. Catch you on the flip side.